2192. The independent military nation Zeus has been established in the colony Olympus on Saturn's ring. Zeus equipped its symbolic machine Guzan Jiao and other armies with a living fighting computer geosystem. They then started to attack the Earth's United Nations on the planet Jupiter. Initially, the Earth's United Nations put all its power to fight in defense, but was defeated by the powerful geosystem. To stop the invasion, the Earth's United Nations equipped its variable fighter Bari Arm with its own geosystem and fought back.
The only thing better than flying a spaceship against impossible odds is flying a spaceship against impossible odds that transforms into a giant robot. And that's what this game is all about. This is Android Assault. So I guess in theory you transform into a giant android, which is technically different than a robot. However, if you read the back of the packaging, it says it's a living robot, and that would actually make it a cyborg. Rather than arguing over terminology, I think we can all agree that it's cool. He just hovers around in that same pose. But that's alright, because this game basically mixes giant fighting ninja robots with a musical score from Whitesnake. Later in the game, we get Bari Arm to roll around the front of a Jaguar, just like Tawny Katane. I found out about this game from our friends over at the Sega16.com website. And if you're a fan of the Sega Genesis, you owe it to yourself to visit their site because they have everything about the Sega Genesis imaginable there in one spot at Sega-16.com. So I was looking for some cool games a little while back, and I came across an article on this game, and I said, that looks fun, and went to eBay, picked it up for a few bucks. I like these side-scrolling, horizontal spaceship shooting games, and this game does not disappoint. It's got robots, it's got missiles, it's got things that explode, and the musical score sounds like it came from the 1991 episode of Headbangers Ball. So this is pretty much a winning game as far as I'm concerned. I like these kind of games. I like the horizontal spaceship shooting games with wave after wave of mindless enemy. I mean, nothing gets you pumped up to destroy aliens like some serious hardcore guitar riffs. Your spaceship/android has a variety of weapons to choose from. My favorite, as you'll notice in the footage, is the one that essentially is a bunch of heat-seeking missiles that go out and shoot enemies without you having to aim at them. Of course, it's the least powerful. You also have laser beams. There's one weapon that's a bunch of missiles that shoot out in front of you. I never use them because they suck. And then you have your standard shot, which is like a shotgun that goes out in front of you and also behind you. There's not a whole lot groundbreaking in this game. My favorite part is that when you do transform into Bari Arm, that he just kind of hangs out there in that one position with his knee out in front of him and flies around. So he's not very animated, you might say. But maybe that's part of his charm. He's like the Stig in Top Gear. This game came out on the Sega CD in the early to mid-90s there. And the Sega CD was a short-lived system. Had some unique packaging. I like the foam insert they give you to protect your Android assault.
Good luck. Power up. Power up.
If anybody else thinks that this game may have been influenced by Robotech and the Zentradi battle fleet, raise your hand.
Power up.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if you're going to be inspired, you may as well be inspired by Robotech. I'm not sure who first came out with the transformable robot. I'm pretty sure it was the Japanese in one form or another. First robot cartoon I remember is Transor Z. If you haven't seen Transor Z, Google it, because you need to see some Transor Z. It's awesome. And of course, I remember watching, and I still love Robotech and Transformers. And right around that time, of course, we had GoBots. Can't forget about GoBots with Leader 1 and Psykill. Have all the little soldiers running towards me that I simply incinerate without blinking an eye. Without blinking an android eye, of course.
You have taken your last breath. Prepare to die.
You'll notice when I'm not shooting, I have my finger off of the shooting button. And what that does is it charges your primary weapon. You see the bar at the top says charge. And then when you let go, it unleashes your fully charged weapon, which varies depending on what weapon you're using. If we read the back of the packaging, it gives you some more insight into the story. Launched by the alien planet Zeus. Any planet's cool if it starts with a Z or an X, of course. An armada of androids has crushed the Earth's conventional space fleet. Desperate and defeated, the United Nations of Earth, like that'll ever happen, has no choice but to counterattack with its own living fighting machine, Bari Arm. Perhaps that could be pronounced Bari Arm. And there's a nice photograph that says, "Duck, or you'll just be another shrimp on the Barbie." The weapon that I'm using throughout the game primarily is called the Thundercracker, by the way. In fact, wasn't there a Transformer named Thundercracker? One of the original jets with Starscream? I think there was. Yeah, so back to my initial thought there. I'm not sure who came up with transformable robots, but we should really have a national holiday to celebrate them. Because they're very space-saving if you think about it, and I would expect that to come from the Japanese, who have a much smaller country than we do over here in the United States, and they like very compact, neatly organized things. one would say they make the most efficient use of their space possible. So obviously, if you want to have a giant destructive robot, you may as well also have it be your automobile or your jet fighter as well. Hence the practicality of a transforming robot. So not only can you take your jet fighter to the grocery store, but you can also transform and crush the grocery store with your foot. Now, in general, this game is nothing really groundbreaking in the horizontal space shooting genre. It has 4 levels of gameplay: easy, normal, hard, and I think the other one is called Mania.
Good luck. Power up.
What makes this game great is that it's fun. The music is fun, the gameplay is fun, the style is fun. And it's a lot like Musha for the Sega Genesis, in that you play it over and over again. Each level has a different rockin' soundtrack, and it generally doesn't get boring. I'm not the expert on the Sega CD game system. I got mine a few years ago, so I did not have this game when it first came out. But the music in this game takes full advantage of the crystal clear CD quality sound. And actually, I think a lot more care has been put into the music in this game than a lot of newer games. Definitely falls into the category of a game that would be awesome if played on Guitar Hero.